This week, in the middle of the summer recess, Parliament's Immigration Committee has reconvened for some special sessions. They've been looking at the issue of what's happening in the areas controlled by ISIS where genocide's happening. Now, the Trudeau Liberals will only admit that there's a genocide against Yazidis, but this week, one of the people they heard from was a Yazidi woman who watched her village be wiped out, the young men killed, the old women killed, the younger women sent off into slavery, sexual slavery. Her name, Nadia. She told the committee a horrific story that you can hear here through a translator.
More than 6,000 women and children were taken as hostages simply because of our religious identity. ISIL acted with the Yazidis in a very different way from the other minorities, because they consider them to be infidels or kafirs. So when they were attacked, the goal of ISIL was to destroy the Yazidi identity and to kill all men and to take girls and children as hostages. When they took us, the girls and children, we were not simply held prisoners, but they committed their crimes against us. They forced us to change our religion. They raped us. They sold us. They leased us. And this continues today against more than 3,000 women and children in both Iraq and Syria.
Majid Al-Shafie with One Free World International has been working on this file of trying to help the most vulnerable who are being targeted by ISIS for some time now. Majid, you spoke to this same committee as Nadia did. She gave her compelling testimony, first-hand account. You saw that testimony. What was the reaction of the committee? Because there just doesn't seem to be any movement from the government on changing their policies.
I think the action from the committee so far is just words, but there is no action yet. Today I testified, and for my surprise, it was all partisan games. The Liberals was trying to blame the Conservatives. They didn't want to get to the issues. Even when I was testifying, there was personal attacks on me personally. This is not the most important thing. The most important thing that we have to help the victims. There is more than 3,000 Yazidi girls like Nadia in ISIS territory right now. They've been raped every day, as young as 8 years old. And yet the world is silent about it. And the Canadian government have to do something about it.
The government has said that they want to help the most vulnerable. They have said that this is the goal of their refugee program. We've already brought in 25,000 people, but I believe they've got 9 cases that they admitted to of Yazidis out of 25,000, 9 cases. So at most 35, 50 people?
We have to make it clear that the 9 cases, as far as I know, it's private sponsors. It's not a government sponsors. We have to understand that this government didn't even want to accept it was a genocide until the report from the UN came. And even when the report of the UN came, they said, okay, only the Yazidis. But forget about the Christians, forget about other minorities, forget about people that are facing the persecution or genocide because of their sexual orientation. They completely dismissed everybody else. And yet, even when the UN recognizes it as a genocide just to the Yazidis, the government is still not doing anything, and they have the power to move quickly and to do something.
We're standing here at the Ottawa airport where you're about to leave to go back to Toronto. You want to bring people in here. You want to help bring in, specifically, you've got several hundred Yazidis in northern Iraq who you want to help get out. But let's talk about the Christians, because all the focus now is on Yazidis because a UN body said that there was genocide, but I think any of us with eyes to see and ears to hear knows that there's genocide going on against Christians in that area as well.
Against Christians, against Sabians and Mandeans, even against Druze. All the minorities is under attack, and ISIS killing everybody and anybody that they are different. But the problem that, once again, the government brought 25,000 refugees from Syria. Most of them, if not all, Muslim Sunnis. From one sector, from one group. Why you didn't make it in a balance? What about the Shias? What about the Christians, the Yazidis, the Druze, and all the other minorities? This government, the reason that they brought, in my opinion, the reason that they brought only them from the Muslim Sunni sector is just for more vote. And cannot happen. This is not right.
That's not what a refugee program should be about when
Absolutely.
you say you're helping the most vulnerable. How dire is it for these groups? Have they been able to flee? Majority of population of the Druze or the Christians or the Yazidis have been able to flee to safe areas and they're just displaced now, or are they still under attack and being killed?
They're still under attack. Like all the ISIS territory, as I said, there is more than 3,000 Yazidi girls still with them. There is many of the Christian community still with them. But even the ones that was able to escape to Kurdistan or any of the Kurdish areas, they still facing discrimination, stigma, because they are victims, used to be sex slaves. So the society and the community is not helping them as a victims. They have to start a new life in a peaceful country like Canada.
You and your organization, One Free World International, you've partnered with the Roman Catholic Archdiocese out of Toronto. You've got a plan before the government. Tell us what the plan is and how people can voice their support or help.
We made a proposal, and the proposal that the government and the communities can work together in order to bring, as a first step, 400 Yazidi girls to Canada. 400 Yazidi girls been raped and kidnapped by ISIS, victim of torture and rape. And the thing that I want the people to understand, in 1939, there was a St. Louis ship, is a ship with Jewish refugees running away from the Holocaust. At the time, we had a prime minister, his name Mackenzie King. And Mackenzie King said, one is too many, and he sent them back. Most of the 900 refugees was killed. In our Canadian history, this Yazidi situation, this Christian situation, this minority situation is the second St. Louis ship. Let's hope that the Canadian government will not repeat the mistake again.
Thanks for the time, Majid, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.